I'm here and I'm ready for my next level because I can feel that in the community. Mary's, all the ones, right? Yes, this is for you. This is designed for you. And I was sending a message this morning in my mastermind group chat, and what I've seen in that group and what I see in our community and what I know about all of you, if you're here, is that there are so many new things being birthed. Now, for some women, that means literal physical life, but for a lot of women, it might mean a new program, a new initiative, something new they want to do in their corporate job. And so we wanted to create this space where we can come together every week and where you can be poured into by me, by my team, where we can help and connect with you. For those who want to go deeper in the work with us and be supported in our programs, we'll talk about how to do that. But this is for you if you are ready to expand. And so this room, just kind of how to know if you're in the right place, this room is for, I would say, driven, ambitious, high level thinkers, leaders, entrepreneurs, sales professionals, those of you who know that you're ready for more, even if maybe you don't know what that is yet, or you can't fully see it yet. And we're going to talk today about specifically what to do when you've reached the level where you thought, okay, this is it. This is my highest level. And you're kind of looking around and you're like, well, what's next? Right? Because we all have those inflection points when we're on this journey as well. So before we get into that, because I'm going to teach you three, I think, really important pillars of how to approach that season and that phase when we're ready for more. I'll just share with you a little bit more about the expansion room, how it works, how to engage, and how to know what to expect as well. So, we are going to be meeting weekly on Tuesdays at 11 Eastern. You need to register to come be in the room with us. So, part of the power of this is that I'm going to be taking questions live. If you want to get your question answered, then you need to register so you can be here and drop it in the chat so that I can see it, so that I can work with you live. So, elisearcher.com/expansion room. You'll want to register every week to be here live. We're going to send out follow-up resources. You'll occasionally get some cool bonuses from us as well for being part of this. So, Lauren, if we can make sure to drop that link in the chat, the elisearcher.com/expansion room, you'll want to make sure to save that and come in and register every week to be here live. But so my goal for this really is I find there's so much power when we can come together as a community and get our questions answered. And I do this a lot. Some of you are in our programs and I see your faces. So I love that you're here. You know, we do this a lot, whether you're in the 10K club, in the mastermind, maybe you're part of our membership, but I wanted to create a space where maybe you're not part of our community yet. And if you are, we love having you here too. Maybe you're not. You're like, I've got this question on this. How do I 10x my income? How do I achieve greater levels of accomplishment while also being present with my kids or my family? How do I have my first $1 million year or my first multi-million dollar year in my business? And this space is there for you to come in and receive support around that so that we can expand together. So if you register, you'll get the replay of this, but I want to really encourage you, register every week, be here live. That's going to be your best chance to get the support you're looking for, to grow and to ascend. And every week, we're going to be doing a different theme as well. And so we're going to be going through and teaching some of the biggest things that I've seen in my own life to go from a woman who started off in corporate sales, selling the most embarrassing thing ever that could be your first sales job, which was Yellow Pages. Some of you, here's what I know about that. Some of you have no idea what that is. And if you're old enough to know what it is, you're not going to admit it. I know that, right? So how did I go from a woman selling Yellow Pages as my first ever corporate job, climbing the corporate ladder, but then stuck at the same level for 10 years, struggling, experiencing panic attacks, anxiety, eating disorder, always feeling like there was something more in me. And I would go to classes like this. I would listen to the teachers, but I'd be like, why is it happening for them, but not for me? And when I learned, and not just learned, but actually embodied what I'm going to teach you in these live sessions and what we teach in our community, That shifted everything. And that's when I went from being stuck at the same level for over 10 years to 10xing, turning my annual income into my monthly income in 6 weeks, continuing to grow and expand. Our company now does multi-millions in sales. I work part-time hours, being there with my three kiddos. It's actually my daughter's first birthday today, which is so fun. So I've got two boys, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and then my daughter's turning one today as well, which is really special. So love being both a boy mom and a girl mom. If you're a parent, if you're a mom or a dad, type it in the chat. You can just say mom or dad in the chat, but I want to acknowledge you. And it's so fun. We were talking in the mastermind chat. Oh, Ashley, you're a girl and a boy mom. That's so fun. Oh my gosh, Allison, hi. I'm so glad you're here. It's so good to see you. Look at all these mamas. We were talking in the in my mastermind chat this morning about the ripple effect of doing this work on our kids. And whether you're a mom, a dad, an aunt, an uncle, when you decide to expand, when you decide you're done playing small, when you decide that you're going to claim the vision for your life and decide to live as the fullest expression of you, and each of you has a different version of that. But when you decide you're going to show up in your God-given potential, and I'll use the word God here, but I want you to insert whatever word makes sense for you, universe, source, spirit, whatever resonates with you. But the idea is that fullest expression of you, when you decide to do that, it unlocks something in other people and it breaks generational chains of poverty, of scarcity thinking, of lack, of abuse. We have so many members of our community right now who are breaking generational chains, changing things for their family. When you decide to shine brighter, to claim more for yourself, more abundance, more opportunity, more impact, more clients, when you decide you're done playing small, when you decide that thing that's been on your heart, maybe it's a business you want to launch, maybe it's another level you want to reach in your corporate job, maybe it's a stage you want to step into today. When you decide that you are worthy of those things and you start realizing, I love how Bob Proctor said, everything you do, you're trading your life for it. So why are you going to trade your life for something small? Why are you going to trade your life for something that's not worthy of trading your life for? And you decide to become the star in your own movie, amazing things happen. Magic unfolds in your life, and others start to feel equipped and empowered to be able to do that for themselves too. So I love seeing the ripple effect in our community. And I'd love to hear from all of you as you're part of this and as you join every week and as you engage and some of you go deeper with us, what that ripple effect is. Maybe it's on your kids, maybe it's on your partner, maybe it's on your friends, your colleagues at work. But there is a strong, powerful ripple effect that happens when we decide that we're ready to step into the calling on our life. And so that's what we're doing here. I know some of you all are like, okay, I thought this was going to be all about sales. We're going to weave in sales. Okay. We're going to weave in sales. But sales is, what do I want to say about sales? Sales is how I started my career. It's how I started my brand. It's something I'm very passionate about. And what I have found being a woman who has gone from stuck to quantum leaping her income is it is not about a funnel, y'all. It's not about the script you're saying. It's about who you're being. It's about how worthy you feel to receive clients, opportunities, impact, income at a certain level. It's about your perception of yourself as a leader, as an attractor. We have someone in our community, one of our certified consultants, and she was on a call not too long ago. And she was sharing this beautiful quantum leap experience she'd had where she attended our live event last year, Superhuman Selling Live. And I was working with her live in the room. And this woman is a former chiropractor, and she started a network marketing business. And she had this vision of leading this like superstar team. And she had a vision of herself as a leader, but she wasn't showing up fully, wasn't showing up visibly, was kind of holding back, was hiding behind certain things. And so we did some real breakthrough work to empower her to step into leadership in a greater level and to start to see herself that way. Because any vision you have for your life, you have to see yourself that way, right? Like, Mary, I see you on this call. You're one of the top speakers in the world, right? Like, I know this about you. And the more that you see yourself as that and you see yourself transforming lives in that way, the more the world is going to mirror that to you. So she started seeing herself as a leader in this way. And she came on our consultant call not too long ago, and she had tripled her income and she won a trip in her company. She had given herself 12 weeks to win this trip. She won it in 2. How cool is that? That's the power of this work. So, one of the things I want to equip all of you with, so that you can go deeper into this, is we have a free training. And Lauren, if we could drop the link for the 4 quadrants free training, I want to give you a free resource to help you go deeper into this. When I looked back on my own quantum leap journey, and then I looked at other members of our community who have turned their annual income into their monthly income, who have surpassed me in certain ways, who have done really cool things, I said, how does this happen? Like, how do we do this? How could I have been stuck for so long in anxiety and fear, always feeling nervous about paying my bills that month, no matter what came in, struggling with a lot of limiting beliefs, saying other people can get on that stage, make that amount of money, but not me? How did I go from that to suddenly, like, I blinked my eyes and it came in, a process downloaded, and this is before AI, this is pre-AI, not pre-AI, but it was like before I knew how to use it. It to me very much feels like a God thing. You know how you just get those downloads where it's like something just comes in, that idea for that program, that launch, the perfect thing you want to say. And this method downloaded in my brain called the 4 quadrants of quantum sales growth. And it's what we teach in our community now. It's the foundation for all of our programs. It's exactly what happened when I did Quantum Leap. And when I see others in our community Quantum Leap, they're following this process. So it's not a step by step, do this, do this, do this, but it's the core pillars that you need to know to embody the transformation you're looking to create in your business and in your life. That if you do these and you embody it and you learn it and you master it, you will ascend, you will grow. And so this training, which Lauren, thank you for dropping the link in the chat. If you want to grab this, it's a free training. It's a much deeper dive training, and it'll walk you through the process. So I really want to encourage everyone to grab that, to go through it, and to use it to help support you as well. So, what are we talking about today? This is so fun. For this week, we are talking about you have outgrown your current level. Now what? Drop a 1 in the chat if that feels like you. Do you feel like you've outgrown your current level, or the level that was once kind of a dream for you? And now you're like, huh, what now? I see it. Yeah, I knew there was a reason that we were going to teach this topic today. So I remember having an experience. This was actually end of last year, going into this year, where we had accomplished a lot of things, like a lot of things in the business, a lot of things in my life. I had, become a mom of 3 at that point. We had just launched our magazine. We did a really cool magazine launch party at my house. Some of you were there for it, which was so fun and so special. We had done a really cool week-long training for some of our clients and consultants here in Maine. I had opened up a new office space here. And I had done a lot of the things that were like my next level vision board things. And then I had a few things happen that felt like some pretty intense contrast. And the word contrast is just challenge. If you're not familiar with that language, I use that language. It's an Abraham Hicks inspired language. I had some things personally and professionally happen that felt like contrast. And I remember being on a call with some members of my team, and someone said, what's your vision? Like, what's next as we go into 2026? What do you see? What should we be aiming towards? And it was the first time in a long time I didn't know. I didn't have an answer. And that was an uncomfortable place to be. I'm not going to lie, because how often do we feel like we need to know and to see the full path and to have it all laid out clearly? And I was honest. I said, you know what? I'm in the inquiry right now. I really don't know. It was like I could see the day in front of me. And that was about it. Okay, that's where you are. Okay, well, beautiful. This is for you, my friend. So nothing wrong when we're in those places, although it can feel uncomfortable, right? I get it. It can feel uncomfortable. And it did. But what I knew from doing this work was I knew that it wasn't permanent. I knew it wasn't going to last forever. Just like today, as I deliver this call for you from Maine, from Scarborough, Maine, where we live, it no longer feels like winter. And I tell you, it has felt like winter here for about 6 months. But the thing that got me through was saying it's not going to be winter forever. I know it's not. And it finally feels like spring. My window is open. We were outside earlier. I was spending some time with my 3-year-old. We are reading a book on the front porch. So spring always follows winter. There's always a new cycle, a new rhythm. And so that was part of what gave me solace during that time, as well as to know that if you're in a season where you feel like you've outgrown your current level or the last level you wanted to reach, and now maybe you're in a place that feels like contrast or it feels a little bit muddy, you are being prepared for what's next. You're being asked to clarify what you want next. And you're also getting to see, and sometimes it can feel exaggerated, but you're getting to see what's not working. You're getting to see what needs to change. You're getting to see who you get to become to have and hold that next level vision that's going to unfold. So a lot of times people will think that if things feel unclear or uncomfortable, it means something is wrong, but it actually means that you're expanding. It means you're expanding. So I want you to know that first and foremost. And I'm going to give you kind of a 3-part framework here this morning that I put together of what to do in those seasons. But I want to just highlight first, if you are in a place where things feel uncomfortable, you are growing. That's a good thing. I actually texted my husband yesterday because I had a few things going on where it felt uncomfortable. Things felt uncomfortable. And I used to never share these things with other people. I used to keep it within. But I have learned, and I am learning that for certain people in our life, we can reach out for things like that. So I said, I just want to let you know, I want you to be aware of this. I can tell I'm in a season of growth right now because there's stuff where like I've pushed my edge. I feel the edge of my capacity right now. And there's a part of me that's uncomfortable with some things I'm getting to navigate through right now. But I said, I know it's good because I know it means growth. And so it is not optional. It is necessary to go through the parts that feel uncomfortable. I was texting with, we've got a client in our $1 million business program, which is a high level program that I run with one of our consultants, and we help women build $1 million businesses. And she had texted us over the weekend about some feelings of like, ooh, discomfort or pressure she was going through, or just feeling the contrast after not having felt that since deciding she was going to up level and enroll. And we both told her, we were like, good. This is exactly what's supposed to happen, because it's when we say yes, when we say, I'm ready for the $1 million business, I'm ready to be a top world thought leader, to be on these stages, to call in more clients, that the parts of us that wouldn't be a match for that, that wouldn't be a vibrational match for it, old limiting beliefs or thoughts of scarcity or fear or whatever, they must come to the surface so that we can see them, so that we can heal them and release them as well. It's part of the process. It is not optional. So it's good. It's a good thing. But the keys I want to teach today, if you're in a season where you feel like you've outgrown your past level, there's 3 parts here. And what I want to invite, again, if you're here with me live today and you have questions on this, type them in the chat. I really want to support you with this. And this is the first one we're doing, I don't know. We may have some time for some live Q&A at the end where you actually come off mute. If not, at the very least, I want to be able to answer your questions in the chat. So please take advantage of the time. Let me know what resonates. Let me know where you're stuck or where you feel like, oh, I'm unclear on this or this is going on, so that I can actually support you live here as well. So the first thing to know, you are designed to expand. You are always going to want to expand. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. All right. I was sitting outside with my 3-year-old son this morning. We were doing some homeschool time and we were reading a book about baby animals. And we came to a page about how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. And one of the fun things about being a mom of little kids, some of you know, it's like I am learning so many animal facts. I had no idea. I feel like the most well-educated woman when it comes to like baby animals, the continents. I don't know, the dinosaur extinction. I could tell you anything about right now. So you all get this who are parents, you've got littles in your life, like you learn all these things. But so we were learning about how the caterpillar becomes a butterfly. And it was such a beautiful reminder of no matter where you are, no matter where you're starting, or no matter how much you feel like you've already accomplished, maybe you've ascended what it is that you thought was going to be the highest calling on your life. There is a divine design and a blueprint on your life where you are always going to desire more. Now, some of you may have been raised that that is wrong. Some of you may have been raised that it's not okay. And that's some of the work that I do with a lot, especially private clients, like high performers, where they reach a certain level of achievement and then they say, okay, like I should be happy now. I should be satisfied. And a lot of times this is subconscious. Gay Hendricks wrote a powerful book about this called what is it called? The upper limit factor. Oh, the big leap, where he talks about upper limiting. And what we have to realize is that subconsciously you have a set point for how much you're willing to allow in, how much success you're willing to experience, how much money you're willing to allow in. And it's all about what feels comfortable for you. So, this is why we want to be really conscious of what's happening when we've reached something that maybe felt like the peak of a mountain. You may start to notice you start to create fights with your partner. You start to, maybe you have a health thing pop up. Maybe you start certain habits that aren't healthy. This is unconscious upper limiting. It's actually the thermostat, your internal thermostat, your capacity for success that's trying to dial you back down to what you're used to. We have a member of our community who's in our membership, and I was on a call with her maybe a month or two ago, and she shared she had her best year ever last year. Best year ever. And then what happened? No money for like 2 to 3 months. It was like the faucet turned off. Why? Her thermostat wasn't set to be able to have and hold that amount consistently. So her thermostat dialed it back down. And this is why you may have a really big month in your business and then feel like you're selling nothing the next month. Or for those of you who are in corporate sales, maybe you make it like top of the leaderboard. But if that doesn't feel natural for you, if that doesn't feel really comfortable and normal for you, then you'll make sure subconsciously, you'll make sure that the next month you're not there because there would be subconscious implications that wouldn't feel safe for you. Again, this is not conscious. Consciously, you want it. Subconsciously, there's a part of you that doesn't feel comfortable, that doesn't feel worthy. And so it'll dial it back down. So this is why when organizations bring me in to help work with their team, and they're like, we just need a better playbook. We need a better script. We need this. I'm like, no, you don't. Could that help? Yes, but everyone on your team has the same playbook right now. Why is it that some of them are consistently performing at the highest level, most are middle of the pack, and some are at the bottom? It's not because they all have a different playbook. It's because they have a different internal playbook, a different internal operating system. So we've got to become aware of what are the edges of our success and then give ourselves permission to actually desire to expand beyond that. That was actually an inflection point I hit when I hit my first million in my business. And I was like, this is going to be it. And then I realized that doesn't pay for everything that I want. Not that there's anything wrong with it. And I'm grateful for it. And it's wonderful. And there's a lot of things that I still desire beyond that. And so there had to be another identity recalibration to actually help little Elise feel safe in saying, thank you, and I would love more. And so the dollar amount itself doesn't matter. Those of you who are in the community know that money, it's not the vision, but it's the how of a lot of the vision. And what I care about for each of you here is that you know who you are, you know what your fullest expression is, because for each of you, there's going to be a different dollar amount that supports that. For some of you, it may be, I don't know, low six figures. For some of you, it's going to be billions. For some of you, maybe it's not even that much. Maybe you live in another part of the world or your fullest expansion is different. But the bottom line is you want to lead. Money is meant to be the servant, not the master. You want to lead with who did I come here to be? What is my next greatest, fullest expansion? And then we can reverse engineer. Okay, what's the money? What's the dollar amount required for that to come in? And so that's how we get into right relationship with money. And I'm not going to do a ton of money teaching on this call, but it is one of the four quadrants of quantum sales growth because your relationship with money, how much you're willing to receive, what feels natural and normal for you is going to dictate how much you sell in your programs. It's going to dictate how much you sell in your corporate job. And so we want to be continually open to bumping up our financial thermostat as our vision of ourselves expands. Because if you have a multi-million dollar vision of yourself in your life, but you're only comfortable letting in $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month, you're going to feel a gap. It's going to feel uncomfortable, right? So for me personally, I was raised Southern Baptist. And one of the things that was ingrained early on was that you got to play small. Don't ask for too much. You're going to be punished if you want more. And so I had a real challenge when I first went into business for myself in corporate sales. Like I would say I want more, but then I would always have this fear of punishment. And drop a one in the chat if you can relate to any of this. Now, we've got what I love about our community is that we have such a diverse community and women and men from all sorts of different backgrounds, all sorts of different spiritual beliefs. And there's not one thing that we teach or do in this community, but what I see is that a lot of the conditioning from members of our community growing up, and you may be able to relate to this too, is that it's not okay to want more, or it's not okay to call in more. And sometimes that can be religious. Sometimes it can be just because it was taught by your parents, by your community. So I'm seeing a number of ones. Oh, actually, you grew up Southern Baptist too. Yeah. And so these things are they're taught, but what I have learned and what we see in nature is that the minute you stop growing and expanding, you start dying. And so to give yourself permission to continually check in with what is the next greatest unfolding of my life? What is the next greatest iteration of me? And I'm going to take you through an exercise in a minute to help you connect with that. But that is, to me, part of how we are wired. That is part of how the divine works through you. There's this concept called the entelechy, which sometimes you'll hear related to the acorn has within it the blueprint to become an oak tree, right? This entelechy, something within you that wants to come out. And I want each of you to, if you're here live and you can, even just like close your eyes and try to connect with that thing. It feels like life force. It feels like the vision that excites you. It feels like, to me, it feels like God's spirit. But it feels like this expansion energy within you. And you may see it as a vision of yourself on a stage, a vision of yourself writing a book, a vision of yourself receiving an award. You haven't done it yet in the 3D in real life, but it keeps coming through you. That is the natural, the innate intelligence of what created you, the thing that created you, the being that created you, the spirit, the source that is wanting to come through you and express itself more fully. So you can open your eyes if you're here and in the chat, but that is what that is. That is the divine design. Florence Scovel Shinn talks about this in The Game of Life and How to Play It, that we have a divine design for our life. Now, what I have experienced is that it is far greater than you probably think is possible for you right now. It really is. I had this experience, it was actually 2 months ago yesterday when I was in Dubai giving my first TEDx talk. And my son was there in the audience. And I could kind of see him. It was a little dark in the room, but like I could see him and I could see his eyes on me. And to be in that moment, having the honor of giving a talk like that, to be connecting with my son in that way, and to have that experience having happened, when we open up to the fullest expression of us and we don't try to limit it, it is amazing the opportunities that will come to you. It is amazing the expansion that you will start to see in your life. But you have to be okay with wanting more. You have to be okay with desiring more. If you break down the word desire, D Sire. It literally means of the Father. That desire, one of the things I say a lot in our community is your desires are green lights. They are guiding you for where you're meant to go next. So I have learned, and this is something that I teach in the community and that we do with our clients, to really tune in to what is the next desire, what is unfolding. It could be for a Balenciaga bag, it could be for a trip to Greece, it could be to start a family, it could be to apply to a certain job, it could be to launch a business, it could be for any of those things. Nothing is right or wrong. It just is. It's all your perception of it. All right. We are the ones who give the things the meaning. Sometimes people will say, oh, it's okay to want more so that I can give it away, or so that I can be more charitable, or it's okay to want more for my kids, but not for myself. I want to invite you today into the awareness and maybe a new belief, a new understanding that the impulse for more within you is exactly what the caterpillar is following innately when it builds the cocoon around itself, when it creates the chrysalis for it to become the butterfly, right? It's not logicking it, it's not trying to reason it, it's following the impulse of that desire for more. Everything on this planet is meant to continually expand. You are part of this planet. You are meant to expand. So stop making yourself wrong for desiring more. Stop making yourself wrong for your vision. And it's when you step into it that you will start to see the magic unfold in your life. And we'll talk a little bit more about the next two steps here on this call, because now it becomes, all right, well, how do I actually let it in? Right. So when you open up to, I'm available for more. And when I did this, I'll even tie it back to the story I told at the beginning, where late last year and even early going into this year, I was like, I don't feel clear. We just had so much beautiful growth. And then I had some challenges pop up, and I was in a season that felt really difficult. And I didn't feel clear on what was next. Now, having gone through what I'm going to take you all through today, the vision is clear, like it is like boom, 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 boom. It's there. But I had to take myself through this process. I've never felt clearer. I've never felt more aligned. I've never felt more excited and ready and equipped and like knowing what to do next. Even though I don't know the full how, I know what to do next and the parts of myself to develop. But it took being okay with kind of being in the tunnel and saying, I can't see it right now. I don't know. When you follow this process, it will become clear. It's what I want you to know, if you're in a season right now where you're like, I don't know what the next level is, tune in. It's a time to tune into yourself. It's there. It's there, but it's a time to get quiet. It's a time to release what no longer serves. And it's a time to start to open up to, maybe there's something greater than I ever imagined possible for myself that's available now. And so I want to invite you again, if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, I'm just going to walk you through some prompts here to connect with. And you may see images show up, you may get blocks of thought or downloads, but we're just going to really start to tune into that next level. And this is perfect whether you feel unclear right now, or maybe you feel very clear. This is going to help add more to that as well. So the first thing I want to invite you to contemplate here and to connect with and to go inside with is, if there were no limits, there were no limits, no constraints, what would your next level actually look like? What would you love? And just pay attention to what shows up there. Your brain may tell you, they try to say, well, how, or that doesn't make sense. That doesn't matter right now. We're just tuning into what you would love. Right. The next thing I want to invite you to connect with, to contemplate, to meditate is, what is true for you now? If everything in your life was going to be 100% true for who you are and who you've become, what would that look like for you? And that may mean some relationship realignments. That may mean, oh, I'd have a lot more money in the bank. That may mean I would live somewhere else. We're not making decisions today. We're just opening up to truth, opening up to what's next. Mm. And then the third thing I would look at is what have I been tolerating in my life that doesn't feel good anymore? Maybe it hasn't felt good for a long time. Maybe it's tolerating less resources than you really desire. By resources, I mean time, money, support, connection. Maybe it's a certain relationship. Maybe it's a client relationship that if you knew you were going to make the money no matter what, you would release them. Maybe it's a lack of being seen, a lack of visibility, a lack of action. But what are you no longer available for? So the energy here is it's a lot more about, it's about stripping away some of the gunk, what no longer serves, to create greater clarity on who you are, what you're here for, than about trying to force or push anything. It's a lot more about allowing in the greatest vision, allowing in the greatest inspiration, allowing in that version of yourself who wants to expand, who wants to ascend, who is the version of you who's already done it. Because the only reason you can see that in your mind is that according to quantum mechanics and quantum physics, there's actually a version of you who's already living that right now. So I want you to take great peace in that and great solace in that. Like, this has already happened. It's already done. That's why it feels like a pull to you. So it's much more of an allowing than a push or a force. So just take one more deep breath in, and just anything else that wants to become visible, anything else you want to connect with now. I want to invite you to do that. Anything else, part of the vision, downloads, just notice it and acknowledge it. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back into the moment. And so if you do that every day, and this is a question I ask myself almost every day, especially if I'm in a time where things feel a little less clear, I'll ask myself, what is my knowing, or what is true for me now? If you do that, it will start to unfold. It will start to come through. You will start to have clarity. I don't think the whole thing can be forced. It's kind of like if you had a rosebud and you try to force it to bloom today, that's not going to happen. But we also, it's not going to end well, but we also can sometimes get ourselves stuck in a pattern of feeling like, I don't know what's next. I can't see what's next. And it's actually upper limiting. You actually do know deep down, you know what you would love if there were no consequences or limitations, if you felt completely safe, if it felt natural and normal for you to have that amount of money, lead that type of business, create that type of life. You do know. And a lot of times it's just fear. And that's where we want to move into the third part for today, which is you must become a match for what you want. So we've all probably heard it said, you don't get what you want in life, you get what you are. That's why vision boarding is beautiful. But if you create the vision board and you don't then start to focus on, well, who do I get to be to do those things, to live in that type of a home, to fly private, to host that type of event or retreat, to lead that many clients, you're not going to do it because you must become a match for what you want. So there's a concept I teach in the community called the identity gap. And the idea behind it is that your vision, like what you just connected with, is here, right? It's here. And the current self concept that you have is here. There's this gap in the middle. And until we close it, and that's by becoming a vibrational match for it, by starting to shift your identity and self-concept, until you close it, your vision will always live here and you'll feel frustration, lack separation, because you know it's possible. You want it. You've seen it. It feels so good to think about it. But then what do we say to ourselves? Oh, well, that could never happen, or here's all the reasons why it can't, or why it's not convenient, or I haven't seen the evidence yet. It's not until you make the work embodying the version of yourself who has it, which means thinking thoughts of, I already have it. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Feeling the feelings you would feel if it was already done, right? Gratitude, appreciation, joy, love, peace. And then taking the actions that you would take if you knew it was already done. Those are the three components. Um, it's not until we do that and we make our daily focus, let me embody the version of her or him who does it. When we do that, the gap closes and then we are a match for it. And how do you know when you've become a match for it? It's when you can think about the thing, the vision. Maybe it's you want to have $1 million business. You want to make your first million this year. Maybe you want to win President's Club in your corporate sales job. You want to make a certain amount of money, retire your partner, live the RV life, right? Maybe it's a lot of different things. It's different for everyone. When you can think about that and it hasn't happened yet in your world, you haven't observed it yet, but you feel excited. You feel, you have a feeling of it's already done. That's when you've become a match. And then it's just a matter of time. And it's so fun. Mary, I'm so glad the visioning moment spoke to you. Allison, the RV life. I love our RV. I think we're going to go on a trip in a couple weeks. I brought on a new team member recently and she's full-time RV life. Like, I love it. So it's so good. Laura, you want the RV? Let's do it. Laura, you're in our community now. I'm so glad you're here. You are in a community of some other women who live the RV life. It's so fun. If we were not also full-time medical school right now, I would be like full-time RV life. I can tell you, it's just not super conducive for for needing to be planted in one place, but it is so fun. There's nothing like it. Total side note, but for those of you who are in the RV life or love the RV life, Campfire Lodgings in Asheville, North Carolina, probably one of my favorite RV spots I've ever been to. The view of the mountains is insane. I'm itching to get back there. So, little side note, has nothing to do about what we're training today, but so that part of you that's like, I would love the RV life. Pay attention to that, right? Tune into that. That's part of that entelechy, that version of you that's wired for greater expansion, saying, follow this, go here. Lauren, yes, the balance of being a boss and wanting to be in nature. I think that is such a commonality in our community where so many of the women and men, it's like we appreciate luxury, we appreciate high end, we love that and appreciate that. And we love, not everyone, but a lot of the members of our community are like, I want to be out in nature. I want to homeschool. I want to have a farm. I can't tell you how many people in our community right now are starting farms or have farms. It's beautiful. You get to have it all. Some of that may not resonate with all of you, and that's beautiful. The bottom line is you knowing who you are, who you came here on this planet to be, and then your business or your sales career. Those are vehicles for you to help become that, to help you become that. And when we look at it that way, and when we focus on becoming the best and highest and grandest version of ourselves in all areas, then more money comes in, then more opportunities come in, then the sales come in. So I really like to go get under the hood with my clients of, you may think, okay, I want to make my next 100 grand. I want to make 1 million. Yes, you do. And you can do it. And it's about becoming the fullest expression of you and letting that support you in doing that. Laura, you're tent campers now. Oh my gosh, I love that. RV life is you're becoming. Okay, we'll connect separately on RV life. We bought what is it, a Forest River? I don't know. It's something 7, but it's like a 40-foot. It's massive. But it's so fun. It's got the fireplace, it's got the different bedrooms. But I'll tell you what's funny is like I want to get we don't have tents. I want to get now my vision is like I want to get tents for our backyard so we can camp out there this weekend. That's part of my vision. So you move into RVing, we're going to start tent camping too, and it's going to be beautiful. Allison, we need to start an RV subgroup for your community. We really do. I wonder how many are RVers now. I'm really curious. I don't know. If you are, message me, let me know. But it's so fun. Um, so it's becoming a match. And I was thinking about just some of the fun things I see happening in the community with those who really do this. We've got a woman in our community, and she graduated from the 10K club actually a couple years ago. Some of you know her. She's amazing. She went from when she focused on embodiment, she went from being a nurse with no sales background, plunging headfirst into sales in a commission-only environment, really competitive, had no idea what she was doing, but she dove into the materials, she studied the modules, she dug in, and turned her annual income into her monthly income in I think it was a couple of months. It was like less than 3 months. She was making 30K months within a few months of being in the community and program. And it was embodiment. She dug in. She said, I'm unavailable to play small anymore. And she's now, she works on the team, part-time team. She's just amazing. But so those quantum leaps, I want you to hear and to know, like, it's not just my story. And I feel like those things happen in my life so I can support and help others in that. And to see what others are doing with this material and information is really, really beautiful and inspiring. We have another member of our community right now, and she started as a private client, and she's a consultant. Now I still work with her in private coaching, but just got booked for one of the biggest stages in the world. This woman a few years ago was in a dental office, just got booked to speak on one of the biggest stages in the world. Like, it does not matter where you are right now. It does not matter um, how big the vision feels to you. It is possible. It is available. And I want you to remember that the reason you feel that calling to it is that it's a blessing, not just for you, but for others in your life. But you got to be available to receive it and to go for it. Aubrey, you've camped in your RV in the driveway before. We did. It's so fun. When we had our live event last year, I had two of my team members staying in our RV in the driveway. And it was at a certain point, the AC went out and it was the middle of summer. It was like, this is not okay. So we figured it out. We got them air conditioning again. But anyway, I love how many RVers there are. This is so fun. So with that being said, I want to take a moment, and I promised at the beginning that we would both have time for Q&A and then also to talk about what's next. We've got some really exciting things coming up. So I want to take a minute and talk about that, how you can get involved in a deeper level. And then also, if you have questions on any of this, you're welcome to type the question in the chat or type your name in the chat if you want me to call on you. I think I'll have time to take one or two questions live if people want to do that. So this is the time to do that now. Any question about what was taught, maybe it's something about money, ascending to another level, hitting a new target in your business or in your life, allowing more in. Maybe it's something about allowing with more ease or getting more clarity on the next level vision. So whatever it is, this is a beautiful time for that. In the meantime, I'll talk about what's coming up next and how you can get involved from here. So I think it is beautiful and powerful to sit in on a call like this and to start to feel some shifts. And my goal and my hope and my intention is that all of you have done that today and you felt some things move. And what I know is that the real transformation comes when you invest in yourself, when you get in a community, and when you get deeper level support where you are known, seen. My team and I can support you in all of this. So if you are desiring, you're so welcome, Laura. I'm so glad you were here. I hope you join us again next week. If you are desiring to really ascend and you're like, I'm ready for my next level, maybe you know exactly what it is. And you're like, I've got some fear to work through, but I know it's there. Maybe you don't know what it is yet, but this is speaking to you. There's a couple of ways that my team and I can help support you, and we are here to support you in making that vision your reality. So if you want to jump on a call with my team, elisearcher.com/free call. And Lauren, if we can drop that in the chat too, that will get you connected with a member of my team. We'll have a private one-on-one call with you. You can share, here's where I'm at, here's my vision, here's what I'm bumping up against, and we'll help kind of direct to the best path for you. We have so many beautiful programs, so many beautiful opportunities, from group coaching to private to live events, which I'll talk about in a minute here. And we're here to help support you. There is nothing more that excites me, that excites the team, than seeing you soar. I got a text this morning from a private client who launched a new business in the past year, and he got to go through some growth in that. And he got to go through some periods of wondering, is this going to happen? Am I on the right path? And he just closed a multi-million-dollar deal. And he he texted me because he's doing a lot of healing work with a member of his family. And he texted me that he's on a trip right now to go see this member of his family. And and this person, we don't know how long they have to live, but to hear this text from him and to see the shifts in him, to hear the lightness in his voice, to hear the joy, the love from a situation that felt really hard a few months ago, and to know how he's ascending in his business, that is what we are here for. That is what we love doing more than anything else. And so you want to connect on how we can help support you in your quantum leap, business, income, all areas, elisearcher.com/free call. You can book a call with a member of my team. Lauren also put a link here in the chat for this beautiful page that she put together that will help guide you to the programs and opportunities that are available now. So if you're someone where you're like, I just know, like, this is kind of how I tend to invest in myself. I'm like, I just know. Sometimes I need a call. A lot of times I'm like, I just know, I just want to do it. I don't want to have to have a call. This page will take you to where you can enroll or apply for some of the higher level programs if that's speaking to you. So we have our signature group coaching program, the 10K Club. We have some of you in here today. That is a beautiful, transformational 12-month program. You get my entire body of work, my deep dive teachings on the 4 quadrants of quantum sales growth as a lifetime course that you own. You get twice monthly live calls with me. You get smaller group implementation calls. You have beautiful community involved in that. You get an event ticket to our next Superhuman Selling Live event that is available. And that's our flagship program. There's so many transformations that happen there. And we would love to have you in that one. If you are a woman, an entrepreneur, or a sales leader, and you're already making 6 figures in your business, but you want to scale, you want to grow, maybe you want to go to multi-6, 7, multi-7, and you want to infuse your business growth with spirituality, feminine energy principles, amazing masterminding with other women. My mastermind is available for registration. That's elisearcher.com/50K club. You'll see that linked there. For you to apply. We've got a retreat coming up in May for that as well in Florida, which is going to be beautiful. It's a high level group. There's a lot of proximity. You get more access to me in that group. And the women there are phenomenal in changing the world, and it will change your life. The other thing I'll mention for today, we have a live event coming up next weekend in Lake Arrowhead, California. I don't know if any of you who are here live are going to be there. Some of you are. I see you here. I'm so glad you're here. It's called Million Dollar Weekend. And thank you, Lauren, for linking that there. That's perfect. If, by the way, part of why you want to register and be here live every week is we're going to send out the links to all of this after the fact as well. So you want to make sure you get the links. Allison, it is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So one of my consultants and one of our community members just manifested something on her vision board, which was buying a cabin in Lake Arrowhead. And so we're going to be hosting the retreat at her new cabin. It's beautiful. And that event is open for all. So whether you're not in the community yet, you're a member of the community, we have a general admission ticket, and we also have a VIP ticket available. The general admission ticket, we have never done event tickets this low. It's $444 for $144. We've never done it that low, but we wanted to try to make it a little bit more accessible for people where you get yourself to Lake Arrowhead, come join us. It's going to be, and then there's a VIP upgrade level 2, which is phenomenal. Higher access, higher intimacy. We've got some really cool guest speakers coming in for that and more time with us there. That particular event is going to be a 2-day intensive immersive event where we build out your $1 million business blueprint plan. We're going to do wealth energetics. I'm going to do a special breakout segment on what it's like to be a mom and be making millions, and if that's part of your vision, how to do that. So it's going to be incredible. So we'd love to have you there, and registration is now because it's happening next week. So we'd love to have you. So we'll send out all of these links afterwards, but I just wanted to make you aware of what's coming up. And then I want to encourage you to make sure to register for next week. So expansion room is every Tuesday, 11 Eastern. If we ever need to move a time because of travel or whatever, we will email you and let you know, but mark it on your calendar every Tuesday at 11 Eastern. And we are just so excited. So any questions from anyone who's here? I hope this served you and helped you today. It was so good to see so many of you. I want to thank you. If you're here live, I know so many of you. Some of you I don't know yet, but I just want to tell you that this was a vision a couple of weeks ago, and I connected with my team on it. I was like, I want to do this. My team executed it beautifully. So I want to thank my team for jumping in and saying, yes, we want to do this. We want to do something weekly for the greater community. And if you're here today and you're part of this, thank you for being a part of the first ever expansion room. We just so appreciate it. Again, I see new faces. I see familiar faces. I see some faces of those of you who have been in the community in years past, and just know how much we love you, how much we appreciate you. And it really means a lot that you're here today. So yeah, absolutely. So glad that you're here. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Feel free to connect with my team for a call to get more involved in the programs. We'd love to help support you more deeply. And I will see you all next week. Bye for now. Lots of love.